Okay.
I would make a
I will
motion
move.
to approve those minutes.
All right, and I will support that. And I guess you got to call a roll call after all that.
Okay, Freeling,
Yes.
Chickering,
Yes.
Walrath is absent, so 2 yays.
Okay. I think the next item is request from the public defender for an advanced step higher for a new assistant public defender level 3. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. We have gotten the materials from Paul Jancha. Terry, you got thoughts or questions?
When did those materials for supporting that request come to us?
They were sent out yesterday, probably about 1-ish or so. With the agenda. It was in an entire packet.
Okay. Don't know that came to me.
Well, if you got the
Let me look.
health department one, it was all together.
It was all in a packet, right?
Yeah, it was all in a packet. So did you get an agenda, Terry?
No, I got the health department stuff separate, Shelley.
So Bill, did you get the agenda with everything?
Yeah, it had his resume and Paul's cover memo and that type of stuff.
Okay, it was sent to everybody.
I think so, yeah.
And then there was additional health department
Well,
information
considering all-
mailed out separately.
Here's David. He's coming.
Yeah. They look in a couple of different places.
Oh, take a second. It's,
I apologize.
No.
And Dave is now here, so we want to put him in there as a president.
Hello.
hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Dave, did you get the materials on the public defender advanced?
Yep.
Step request?
Sure did.
Okay. Do you have thoughts while Terry looks for it?
Yeah, I like the fact that he went to U of M, but he went to MSU too, so
Yesterday, I was flying, Terry.
I have found it.
It's
All right.
on the agenda for 20, okay.
All right, let's give Terry a couple of minutes to look at the materials.
So my question on this, it looks like we're asking for a step 5.
That's correct.
They would typically come in at a step 1.
This is a non-union position, so they, the department head could bring an employee in at step 1 or all the way up to the top step of step 7, provided that you would approve anything over a step 1.
How many do we have at this position?
How many APD 3s?
Public Defender 3.
I don't know right off the top of my head. I believe there are 2 other APD 3s. I think he has a complement of attorneys of 14. Does that sound right, Brian?
I think so. I think so. I don't have his org chart.
Okay.
Um,
state is still picking up the tab for this, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think Terry rightfully is kind of asking the question about internal equity and fairness. I do know from talking with or emailing Paul Tancha that this guy will have at least as much, if not more, background experience for the role than anybody else on his team.
Well, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, this guy has got a lot more experience coming in than he can justify it.
The other question is more for Shelley with regards to the complement. And I know that the state has the grant for public defender. How are we for budget wise with regards to approving this step request?
We're well within the budget, Commissioner. They've had vacancies, and they also requested funds for other positions that have not yet been filled. So there's no adverse budgetary effect by approving this advanced step higher request.
Okay.
You good with it?
Speaking
Terry?
with,
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair,
Yes,
just a bit of outside information as it relates to this. I spoke with Paul last week. He's got one member of his team that's had a pretty significant health issue that will likely have that individual out for a bit. Added to that, the courts are beginning to once again form jury pools, and I think there's a sense of a little bit of pressure on the public defender's office to be ready to ramp up support as jury trials resume again in earnest. So from the staffing issue as well as the perceived pressure to aggressively knock down some of these jury trials that have just been sitting in queue, I think that Paul has a real need to fill the vacancy.
well, and Paul certainly explained the vetting process, the background check and all that, so I'm certainly in favor of the advanced step. Dave?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's justified. The guy's got a lot of courtroom experience that, I mean, that we're probably gonna need very soon.
Okay. So you're okay, Terry?
Yes.
Okay. Shelley, what kind of motion or activity do we need to approve this?
Right, I think I heard Volrath make the motion perhaps,
did.
and Commissioner
I did.
Freeling support that motion. And then I think there were 3 yays.
I think all of
Hey,
that is
hey, hey.
absolutely correct.
Okay,
Moving on.
Great. Thank you. The next one is the Health Department's request for an advanced step hire for one of the newly created roles of contact tracers. I think the reason that we're hearing from the Health Department that they want advanced step is because this individual also is a certified registered nurse with experience both within our health department and in other similar situations. Is that correct, Shelley?
yes, sir, that's very correct.
Okay. Terry, I know you had some questions. Did they get appropriately answered?
That they did get answered, and I see that with the agenda information, a lot of my questions were answered in that. So Shelley, I thank you for taking the time to answer my redundant question that you had already delivered to me. My other question, if I may, Mr. Chair, is
Yeah.
with regard to the budgetary impact of this. I know that the salary is a little bit more than what this would have been if this would have been a temporary position. Shelley, can you address a little bit of that with regards to funding? Are we good? with advanced step?
Yes, the person right now is actually a temporary employee of the health department, making a little bit more per hour than what even this advanced step would be. So salary wise, there's a very small savings. Obviously, there are benefits attached with a full-time position. And that was all part of that over $1 million in funding that we received, or the health department received from the state, through the CARES Act, I believe.
Okay, thank you.
Dave, you got any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. I I put Shelley on notice that I don't want to see a parade of advanced step higher requests from the health department for these, let's call them permanent temporary positions. You know, this person is highly qualified, overqualified, I think we could say, as an RN. And I in part support it because this could be background talent for us to have, as we always need RNs. But I think we've got to be a little more careful of towing the line on just normal hiring rates as we go forward. I don't want this to set a precedent of any kind.
Yeah, I thought that
I'll
was.
pass those concerns on, Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the advanced step?
I'll make the motion.
I'll support it.
So that was a Volrath Chickering?
Yep,
Okay. And then would you like me to call the roll?
please.
Freeling,
No,
Chickering,
Yes,
Volrath.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 2 yays and 1 nay.
keep us on our toes, Terry. Come on. All right. thank you.
can I make a
Yes.
statement, Mr. Chair? My no on this is not because I am not in favor of the individual who's applying. It comes down to earlier in our discussions with these positions. I still feel that they're in a temporary position, and it's really difficult for me to approve even an advanced step on this because of my feelings on that. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, because that just shows you're being very consistent and we like that. So, okay. We had for a minute Lee Lowell on the line. Is Lee still there?
He is still here.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
I like his picture.
Can you hear me okay?
You sure can. Oh, Lee, you're getting so gray.
You know, I can't see my own video. I don't think I have this set up right. Are you actually seeing my face? All I see is the American flag with the eagle there.
That's what you
That's
got.
what we see also.
Okay, all right,
That's
good.
what it
That's
was.
good
Forgive me.
then.
So you're spending your money. Good for you.
Trying to, sir.
Tell us what we can do for you.
Okay, well, I need to get approval from the Personnel and Human Services Committee for these proposed, these requests that I have to use the grant funds. A lot of it's for the same items that we used last time. The only variation here is the COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund. I got this wording exactly from the state. I know it's quite wordy, but the State of Michigan Grants Coordinator is the one who recommended I put all this wording so we don't have to go back and get any amendments. So I don't know if we'll be able to do all the things on here, but we have a total of $23,576.96 for COVID-19 relief, which is more than a third of the entire amount of grant funds that we're getting. And we're not getting like $109,000 like we were the previous year. We're just getting $64,802.
Okay. Lee, the money you're spending on public outreach, you've done that at least for 1, maybe 2 years. Is that being effective in your mind?
Yes, we think so. We have a lot of seniors, so we want to hit all the senior centers. And they're kind of in a bind right now because they're not all open, but they're still sending out their mailers. So it still lets them know that we're here, and what we offer. And of course, they're always getting new seniors all the time. And I'll tell you, one of the key things that happened when I got out of the military off active duty in '84, I didn't even know this office existed. And I still have, believe it or not, with all the advertising we've done, we still will have people come to our office and said, I just heard from a friend that you guys even exist. So I really feel advertising is very important. It's what a lot of the other counties are doing with a great majority of their funds, because if they don't know we're here, they won't utilize us. And so, and we also within the ads will offer what our services are. And so we've tried to be real frugal though. We're like, for example, with the Palladium, I'm only going to advertise in the Saturday edition. With MailMax, that's a weekly newspaper, but that's actually mailed to people's homes, many homes, which is some of the largest zip codes in Berrien County. And the radio has been very effective. I don't know if you've seen any of our banner ads like on Town Choir Wire, but even I've seen them when I'm playing on the internet, social media, and Facebook and stuff. So if they don't know we exist after all this advertising, I don't know what else we can do. So to answer your question in short, I think it's very good utilization of these grant funds.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Dave, you got any questions for Lee?
Did I put him to sleep?
No, I'm sorry. I forgot I muted myself because the dog was making some barking noises. So no, I have no questions right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. Terry, what about you?
No, I'm good. I appreciate the information, and I have seen the banners, Lee, through different types of platforms. And I do know that other people have reached out to me and have said that they didn't know that those types of services were available through our Veterans Affairs Office, and it's good. So, and I'm supportive of this effort.
Thank you.
Well, Lee, we all, and I hope everybody in Berrien County supports all the great work that you do, because you are doing tremendous stuff for our veterans. And I think we at the county want to make sure we support you absolutely as much as we possibly can. So, Shelley, what do we need to do? Do we need to approve something?
I think it's just by consensus. I'll put that Lee reviewed the expenditures and by consensus PHSC concurred, if that's all right with you, Mr. Chair.
Good with me if it's good with my compatriots.
I agree.
Okay. Lee, thank you again. Keep up that great work.
Okay,
Thanks,
sir.
Lee.
Thank you very much. You all have a good day.
You too.
And Brian, he is a true resource to Berrien County. He and his office do a tremendous amount of great work. I know you support him too, because I can see it in your face mask. Okay,
Mr. Chair, just related to Lee's activities, earlier today, I had a local government official contact me wanting to get in touch with Lee. There is a local company that's looking to expand, and they are focused on trying to hire veterans. So I sent Lee's contact information out, and I'm confident that he'll be able to help find some potential new employees. So
great,
just one more example of what he does.
great. And thank you for supporting him, as I know you will. So, do we have one other thing on our agenda, or do we not?
We have pension refunds also.
I had that on my list, so I looked them over and they make sense to me. Do we vote on those, or do I just approve them?
You would need a motion on those.
I'll make
move
a
it.
motion. I agree.
Okay, help me out with who moved it.
Volrath, give it to
I
him.
think I did. Bill might have been the first.
All right.
Volrath,
Let's go to the,
okay.
go to the booth.
Volrath Chickering?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we need to call the roll, so, Volrath,
Yes,
Chickering,
Yes,
Freeling?
Yes.
Okay, you have 3 yeas, Mr. Chair.
thank you.
And so, Bill, with that, we have your permission to affix your signature to these documents?
You got my rubber stamp.
Thank you. And then the next thing would be road department complement changes. I think Jason is on here. Maybe we need to wake him up a little bit. There he is.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Jason.
How have you been?
Great. Sounds like there's at least 2 people in St. Joe Township that think your Napier Avenue thing is wonderful.
Hey, I'll take 2. I'll take 1.
Well, that's one more than some of us predicted you'd get. And also congratulations on the great ribbon cutting last week.
Well, thank you. That was exciting.
Good.
Nice event.
I know we got your information kind of early this morning, and so I have to ask Dave and Terry if they've had time to review it.
yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Well, then let's go ahead. Jason, fill us in a little bit.
Sure. Thank you. So this position is something I've been thinking about for quite some time, and finally was able to get a bunch of information, and Shelley was able to put it in a very nice format. So thank you, Shelley. And really, as that cover memo states, what we're trying to do here is make sure that we really marry the maintenance side of things with the design and project construction side. Make sure they're really talking and working together. So a standard kind of across the board in the road world is the operations engineer that does just that. And I work very closely with a few of them at MDOT. And really that detail and that expertise on the engineering side to look at the asset management plans, develop some maintenance activities that really complement it, as well as on the winter maintenance side of things. I know there's certain regulations with salting and other stuff, road salt for winter, that's it's just getting more and more complex, and having that engineer mind drill into that and support our efforts. Certainly data and tracking is really important. And then within those duties of a licensed engineer, certainly they would also support actually getting our program out with potential design of projects, as well as construction inspection. So right now it's kind of a 50-50, half their time working on the maintenance side of things, but then the other half really helping and supporting getting the program out, because that's one of the things that certainly the public sees, and we don't want to slow down our progress, because we're making really good progress with our asset management plan. So that's the background.
Okay, and I understand that you have a vacancy that is driving the opportunity to upgrade the job?
Correct. So we had a vacancy probably right when I got here, and then with Brian Barrett leaving and John Greco leaving, that left us with those 3 vacancies. The other thing that we're running into a pretty tough position is, I think anybody trying to hire engineers, it's difficult. It's difficult to find them. So certainly having something that's a little bit higher up on the pay scale with a little bit more responsibility, I'm hoping that gives us a better chance to land somebody. But yes, we have 3 openings at this point. 2 on the engineering specific side, 1's a tech, engineering tech, help with construction inspection. But this particular one is a entry-level engineer 5 that we would like to convert to the engineer grade 8 which would be the operations engineer license.
And is there someone internal on your staff that you see getting the position?
No, because right now we just have Kevin. So, and he's actually a grade 8 as well. So it'd be a compliment. He's a licensed engineer. I want another licensed engineer comparable.
Okay. Terry, any questions for Jason?
So looking at the org chart, Jason, is that, I think where you have this position going into proposed, is that typical where they would align with your superintendent, who I think is,
Don Geisler.
thank you. And then you would have your county highway engineer and then the operation engineer. The three of them would work in conjunction to oversee projects? Or how does that work?
Usually the operations engineer is not on the engineering side. They're either completely separate reporting to upper management, or they actually are above the entire maintenance side of things. So right now I'm gonna keep it completely separate for now. Certainly want to get everybody working together over probably the next year or so. And if there's a different arrangement, certainly you guys would be the first to know and hopefully approve if something came up. But right now I think this is really the same type of I would say system that a few other county road agencies are using, and certainly it's the same system MDOT's using. And that operations engineer is usually considered a specialist separate from project level engineers or project designers.
Okay. And I know that you said that this is going to be filling a vacancy that we currently have.
Correct.
So 50% of the work would on project engineering, and the other 50%, give or take, theoretically, would be for operations to be able to coordinate those things for efficiency purposes.
Correct. And to be honest with you, that first year it might be a little more heavily weighted on the maintenance side and really getting that up and running. But then hopefully once it's up and running and everybody's got their marching orders and we got an operations manual in place, then I'm hoping it can support some of the design side a little bit more. So my guess right off the bat is 50-50 ultimately.
Mr. Chair, if I may be so indulged to ask one more question.
Please do.
My other question is, we're in budget cycle right now, preparing for that. What sort of impact will this have, knowing that COVID had some sort of direct hit on what revenue we were able to get for road maintenance from the gas tax? Are we able to manage this, Jason, and roll it into your budget?
Yep, absolutely. And actually, this position was in our budget from the get-go. And I did sit down with Brian, and we went through some of those positions that it's just been hard to fill, the entry level, not this particular one, but the entry level. It's been out there for a long time trying to find somebody. But we've budgeted those positions. We just haven't been able to fill them. So we're doing pretty good. And Monday, I can kind of give you, I don't want to give you a sneak peek of the big presentation, but I can let you know what the impacts of the MTF based on the COVID issues and everything else and where we are. But right now we're looking pretty good. We had a huge fund balance. And to be honest with you, not having enough people here in the office, it's actually hard to get projects out. Like we're up against, we're at max as much. I can't get any more projects out. If you gave me $1 billion, I wouldn't really know what to do with it because I can't get it out the door. So we're firing on all cylinders. Having another licensed engineer will help quite a bit.
Okay, thank you. Those are all my questions.
Thank you, Terry. Dave?
No, other than that last thing you said about not being able to get $1 million or $1 billion worth of projects out the door. No, anything that Jason thinks will be more efficient to running smoothly. I know they're still running kind of lean out there. I'm in favor of it.
Good. I echo your comment, Dave. Good questions, Terry. I'm in favor as well. What is our boss there at Corporate Central?
I want Jason. A couple of weeks ago when we had our MAC conferences, the main speaker they brought in was Izzo from the Michigan State Spartans. And he got on there, and knowing his audience are all county commissioners, the first thing he says, I've always wanted to do this with knowing you guys. He says, who's going to fix my road? And it's like, and then he made a really nice hour-long speech, but
All right, so is he in Ingham County? Do I need to go to Ingham County or something?
yeah, I think so. That's where he's living. I think he lives next to the governor. I'm not sure.
I know people up there. I'll put a good word in for him.
All right, Shelley, what formalities do we need to do?
Well, the resolution needs to be assigned a number, because I don't believe Jason provided it to Annette in advance of the meeting, so he'll need to do that. She'll assign a number, and then, it could be on the full board agenda next week,
If they're good with that.
if you're okay with that action.
I'm in favor.
I'm good.
I would be supportive of that.
Good. Is that all we need to do? Can we let Jason go back and fix a road?
Well, thank you very much.
All right,
Thanks, Jason.
take care.
Checking for public comment.
I think that was the end of the agenda, wasn't it?
Annette is checking for public comments.
Where's Tony?
Oh, I'm the only one watching now, so you don't have any public comments.
Nobody watching? Well,
Nobody's watching us.
It's just me.
Okay.
oh, what's new?
Oh, Annette has no public comment of her own. Ryan, anything you want to tell us about or?
Go to my feet.
No, sir, I'm good.
All right, Shelley, anything you want us to do?
No, just stay healthy.
All right. Last comments, Terry, Dave?
Have a nice
Have a
week,
great week.
everybody.
All right. Hey, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Annette, as always, great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.